Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is third in a series of discussions with Josh Ferguson about a topic related to leadership or something of that nature in the safety industry. How are you, Josh?
Hey, I'm great, Brent. Thanks.
Excellent. Coming to us today from sunny Florida, where I'm looking outside in the Seattle area with snow on the ground today. So I envy you, Josh. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about mentoring or mentorship. And this is a topic that Josh brought up, and we're going to talk specifically about short service employees. But I wanted to touch a little bit on mentoring first, because I think it's really, really important. And I think no matter what you do in life, in work, it's important to have a mentor, and maybe more than one mentor. So I actually am lucky enough to be the committee chair of a three-person committee within the consultant practice specialty of the American Society of Safety Professionals on mentoring. So twice a year, we meet as a group and we assign mentors and mentees based on applications. So somebody oftentimes in the safety industry is looking to transition into the consulting sector, and they want a consultant mentor who can kind of guide them on the things they need to do to become successful, and the blind spots they need to be aware of. So I'm a big advocate for mentoring, and I've also been super lucky in my life. I've had two professional mentors, Steven Seeger, who retired from a general contractor here in the Seattle area, who I still talk to on a regular basis, and the late Mark Hendricks, who was the safety director for Baugh Construction, passed away a few years ago. And I mean, tremendous mentors who guided me personally and professionally. And I think that for anybody, having a mentor within your industry, usually outside of your company, is important. And then potentially having somebody who is not in your industry, but within your company. That might be a vice president or somebody who takes you under their wing. And I know a lot of progressive companies have that mentoring program within their companies, which is really, really cool. So as part of that, we've kind of come to this requirement, or I don't know what you might call it, but the development of short service employee programs. And, you brought this up, Josh, because you see these out on the job site where they have a short service employee program, which is basically, it's a mentoring program for new people coming to the site or new people coming to a company. And you've had a fair amount of experience with these, right?
Yes, I have.
And what is your feeling on short service employee mentoring programs? What have you seen, and what do you think the benefit is of them?
So I think the short service employee program is an excellent program. Essentially what it does is it identifies somebody who's new to the job, new to the industry, new to the field, and it pairs them with somebody more experienced. And until they get more comfortable with their position, with the industry, with whatever position they're in, and before they're kind of let loose on their own. And in general, the employer will have some sort of identifying mark, whether it's a different color hard hat or a different color safety vest. And what that does is it increases visibility for the new employee. So other people, not only the mentor, but everyone else around them can recognize and watch out for these the newer employees who may not know as much, and who may not be as educated of the surroundings or the hazards that they're facing.
So it's really be thy brother's keeper as part of it, right?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Absolutely. Yes. And then it's also, I think, a good way for a company to indoctrinate somebody beyond a 1, 2, 3 hour orientation when they first start. It allows them to really understand from the perspective of another employee within the organization what the expectations are, what the culture is. It's a very effective way to make sure people are watching out. And you had some great statistics about injuries to new workers. You want to share those? And I think this is a big driver behind these short service employee programs.
Yeah, absolutely. So in general, about 1/3 of workers' comp claims are first-year employees. And then in the construction industry alone, about half of the workers' comp claims are people within their first year of employment. That's huge. And so a company investing resources into minimizing that risk is well worth it. And it not only protects the the company and the worker, but it increases the likelihood that the worker will go home safely at the end of the day, of the job, of the project, and want to come back and do another one. And that increases our human resources, and gets more longevity out of workers.
I agree with you, and I know you spent a fair amount of time in the oil industry up in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, and for many years, the oil and the chemical industry companies have really endorsed and promoted this short service employee program, and they've required it even of consulting companies like us today. And we're starting to see more and more companies embrace this, but unfortunately, I don't know that we have the data yet to really show how much this helps with injury reduction, but I'm an advocate for it. And I think that it does make a difference and it will reduce injuries, because any effort we put into making sure that people understand expectations and work safely is a good effort. And, there's nothing that I like better than to walk out on a job, and it may not necessarily be a job where that particular company is the example or epitome of safety, but a worker will see me or see a consultant doing a job walk and make the comment that when they work for such and such company, they did this or they did that, and they were really impressed with what they learned there. And then they've now taken that to the new employer, even though the new employer maybe hasn't embraced it. They're a step ahead of that employer, which I think really sets a precedent. So I agree with you. I think short service employee programs are great. I think mentoring is great. Have you had the luck or the privilege of having a mentor in your life, in your career?
I have actually. I've had many mentors. I actually had a mentor meeting this morning, where a couple of things came out of it. If you don't mind, I'll share those.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the two things I took out of it are speak as if you're right, and then listen as if you're wrong. And so what I took out of that are the 2 C's of communication, certainty and curiosity. So speak with certainty, and then listen with curiosity. Know what you're talking about, and assume that you don't know what you're hearing. And I think that opens up the pathways to understanding each other and increases teamwork.
I agree with you. And I think you just gave us a nice lead into the next one of these we do, which will be on the topic of curiosity, because that is a topic I'm very passionate about in leadership. And I've had some really good examples of people around me who have talked about curiosity. So I think the next one of these we do, Josh, we talk about curiosity.
That sounds great, Brent.
Thanks for being with us today, as always, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, Brent.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.